Bottle, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
It was very important for me to have this on my easel, which is my music stand.
Which is it? An easel or a music stand?
It's a music stand.
All right.
I'm not playing the dumb guy anymore. Imagine if that were really true. That's it. It's over.
The second 400 shows, it's all changing.
But what does the Scarecrow go? I'm not smart enough to do the Scarecrows. Is he the one you need, Brain?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I'm not smart enough to do the Scarecrow's rap.
Uh-huh.
Well, E equals MC squared and things like that. Isn't that what it is?
Sure.
Okay.
That was a good preamble, everybody.
Oh,
everyone on stage
stand.
for the big podcast number.
Here's my impression of stand-up comedy in the 90s and 2000s.
Okay.
Right.
Stand-up comedy in the 90s and 2000s.
The pressure's too much. The pressure's too much. If there's ever a battle between forgetting and trying to remember by turning my brain up into a pretzel, for example, I just forgot what sentence. I forgot what I was entering right now.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
Okay, listen, look. We would be remiss.
Let me just...
Josh, what do you want to say? What do you want to say? What's happened? I haven't had my TV's in the shop?
You know all the jokes you've been writing for the Netflix Pope roast?
I can't believe I had a need to jump on that. Not even let you get that out, proving that I knew about the topic. What's the point of me short-circuiting your joke?
I don't know, but thankfully you got it under control in time.
Oh, I don't have it under control. I can't let go of the nasty little one. All I can do is keep him at bay. And my therapist says that's kind of a little bit of a, you're doing good. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's all life is, really.
Well, yeah, of course, you, Mr.
Like, if I let all my fucking meanness out, oh my God.
You talk about, have you seen Billy Jack? Double it. No, you would go, but you're never going to be a guy like Michael Douglas. Didn't Michael Douglas go nuts in the city, like a walking tall thing?
Falling down is what you're thinking of, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, why couldn't you give me you didn't say that nastily. You didn't say that in a nasty way.
You just took the phrase falling down personally.
It's interesting that instead of having to pretend someone said something that triggered me, I could just come up with my own reason to say something. And that would be growth. Okay, look, Josh.
Yes.
I was going to short circuit what you were going to say, because I had a great opening, which is nothing's great when you say it, but I was going to go, I think it would be remiss if we didn't spend some time on this week's podcast talking about the Pope. Because by the time Saturday, I don't know when this comes out, next Monday, that's when people are going to want to hear what was the initial reaction of Jews, of agnostic Jews. I'm not agnostic. I believe in God. One agnostic Jew, and I have to rub it in every time. What am I rubbing it in?
I don't know. I'm not the one who's lashing out against a dead parent for my belief system.
See, folks, that's when I say you should go back and listen to some of the early episodes. You're not going to that's a shorthand for something that we're not going to recover that now. We know why I am the way I am, Daddy. I can't even do a bit like that. Oh, Daddy, why did you make me so scared to believe in reincarnation. Oh, daddy. Oh, daddy. I like that. I like the verse. I like the idea of daddy. Oh, daddy. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Look.
right. Put it back in the box.
Okay. My penis. Bad comedy. All right. Here's what I decided to add. A couple of things coming in. I know you have a whole thing you do every Monday on the show.
Docket. It's my docket. Josh's docket.
What's on Josh's docket today? Here's when I know that, not that you should bring me to the home, but here are signs that I'm approaching the time. And again, I'm telling you, if you put me, I'm taking off that you're my medical proxy, and I'm putting Susan on.
All right, good.
If you don't stop,
I don't mind being a trusted advisor to Susan.
If I lose my desire to make coffee, that's a warning sign. Okay, because let's say today would be a day where I go, I don't want to make coffee, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to make coffee, but I'm totally need to be more awake.
Yeah.
So I start to break it down. Can I go? Okay. If once the grinding of the beans becomes interminable, now it's terminable, very terminable. I have no. It sounds at one point like, is this ever going to end? What's going to happen when the grinder needs to be fixed? Should I have a backup grinder? Done. And then you can see home from there, which is the boiling of the water.
Now, will you put that grinder anxiety away until tomorrow's grinding, or will you think about the grinder during the day?
After all these years of therapy, I have learned to put experiences like the grinder behind me. I put it in the moment. I stop worrying.
Yeah, because it ground.
Yeah, exactly. There will be residual. No, I won't carry it till tomorrow, and that's only because of age.
Yeah,
it's because of a bad memory. It's not like I'm getting more healthy. I am healthy OCD wise, but I'd like to never forget to not credit Prozac, and not that I get $1 for this.
Yeah,
I wish I did. I would do it for money. Hey, fuck faces. Hey, fuck faces. Are you feeling down? Get your ass into. What would be a cut? What would we do? A cut rate? What would that be the thing? Hey, everybody. Oh, it would be Prozac for less. Prozac for less?
Yeah.
That's right. But what if I haven't been diagnosed by an actual psychiatrist? Absolutely no problem. We have online psychiatrists who are capable of pressing the boop, 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 boop. Well, what if I've never been on a dosage before? Shut up. Just go to the thing. All right. This is like a bit that I'm doing. I feel like I'm high, and I'm not high. I know.
It became 10-year-old with a tape recorder there at the end.
I am getting over a 1 week cold.
Yeah. And
I have got to tell you, it's not.
You should have ordered the 2-day.
No, I'm. Here once again, I'm so self-absorbed. I can't even remember the stupid story I was going to tell you about my cold, and it's just that it was like it came and went within a week, pretty much. I'm not saying it's gone completely. You never can, but I've never had something that was this mild. And I wonder if it's not from all my boosters, even though Jimmy Dore says.
You know what it probably is allergies. Seasonal allergies.
Yeah. God forbid I should, even though I take Allerschmeck.
Yes.
Okay, I take Allerschmeck, though.
I understand, but people are having especially bad allergies this time.
By the way, I want to thank you. Can I start calling you my hombre? I hope not. I hope not. I hope I don't start it. But you got the old wheels spinning. For some reason, I had forgotten about a car in my lust for new appliances.
Uh-huh.
Once a dishwasher, I don't want to say the dishwasher is old, but it
only cleans Franks and beans off? I don't know.
I don't want to say my dishwasher is old, but it's got to be 20 years old if it's a day. That'll do.
All right, fair enough.
Right? So now we're back to a car. Must have a car. And then here's the thing that's stupid. You know, Rich Brotherton. You know that I have help about Rich Brotherton. No, but I mean, I'm one of these. I'm like W.C. Fields without the racism and without as bad case of it. You know, you put your money in different banks, right? So I have a couple.
But all
of
the chemical dependence.
All the chemical, yeah. Well, what did he? What was his choice?
Coke. Coke? You got
drink a lot. You mean that he was a drinker? I forgot he was a drinker. I don't consider that a drug. Hello. That's what, and when usually you'll see what Betty Ford said to me.
Just as he deposited money in banks out of paranoia, he kept attics full of liquor in case prohibition came back.
That sounds like me, opposite me, somehow. Who am I comparing? I forgot who I'm comparing myself to.
This is just no fun to talk to you, really.
Okay, so, am I at the end of a story? Am I at the beginning of an anecdote? Am I midway through something? You could help if you wanted to, but you don't want to help. You don't want to help. You hate me.
You seem to think that with my ADD, I can follow you 3 beats away from a storyline.
I know. It's ridiculous. I apologize.
W.C. Fields was the last fucking thing I remember.
I know. I apologize for all of it.
I think we were talking about a car. It was a car and your brother.
Yes, a new car. Rich Brotherton was indicating that I've had help over the years. But don't kid yourself, okay? I have had help, but just don't kid yourself in general. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's not a good thing to do. I can't stop doing that joke. Since I started comedy in 1985, I have done some version of, hey, don't kid yourself. Okay, wait a second. I'm going to stop. Hey, okay, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Now, how many years?
It's as funny as normally.
That hurts. Okay, so the point is, I have accounts, and the point is, I have, a certain amount of this. It's not like earth shattering, but a certain amount of this account, certain amount of this account. Why am I keeping that money in that account? Why is that money not going on a down payment on a car? And what if everything breaks down? Shouldn't I have a workable car? This Why Did I Perish? That'd be the worst movie if it was like one of those Survivor of the movie, like when the world's. Yeah. But what happened to Kindler? What happened to him? He never got rid of his 2003 Toyota Camry.
You deserve a backup camera at this age.
Thank you. I'm getting like an AARP round of applause. Here's the other thing. I never thought this would be an issue, but you tell me this. It's not an issue for me. But here's something. Apparently, when you turn 65, and I'm not saying this as a cheap joke, which it is, you have to you get the urge to investigate gutters.
Huh.
And I get all kinds of emails about this. It's not that I'm a renter, but I'm in a condo.
All right.
Okay? If I get that urge here, I think my wife should commit me to the bangy boom, 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 because it's 4 flights up or whatever. Uh-huh. But what is this thing? And what's the deal with these commercials?
Oh, it's not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
Clean out your gutters. What's next? Should I stop trying to, what's it called to climb up a building?
Scale
a building like Spider-Man? What's next? What's next? I like what's next. What's next? Should I stop brushing my teeth? What's next? I'm just saying this ageism is getting on my nerves. Now, I went to an event this weekend. It was a lovely event I was
unable to make it, but how did it go?
It was a wonderful celebration of the life of Andy Paley, and it was really great. It was fun, and I got to talk, and Jonathan Richmond was there. There was just I was like Lenny Kay. I don't want to broadcast it like I'm an entertainment reporter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he really was kind of one in a million. Andy Paley. It was like I always loved him. I was always mystified by my friendship with him, and I was always also not mystified. It's not like mystified. In a way, I was, because he was on his own wavelength. You know what I mean? He was on his own wavelength. But I mean mystified in the best way. But then the other thing was that I was just in a bad period of my life where I wasn't answering the phone every time people called, and that was to other people's detriment. It was to my own detriment.
Yeah.
I was I was avoiding things. I have an avoidant personality, interestingly enough. So now I realize that. But you know what? That's part of my guilt of I didn't return every one of his calls.
All right.
It's all bullshit in terms of once I entered this domain, I could feel myself entering. Okay, why are you trying to justify your love for Andy Paley? Just cut it out. But I was able to. I did the bit where that I had written about him getting myasthenia gravis, that I had performed for him, because I got a call from Fred Stoller years and years ago saying, Andy, he was freaked out, which he should have been, because we didn't know what was going on. He said, get down to the hospital. And so, first of all, Andy Kindler, if the hospital is local, you know what I'm saying, and you're willing to pay my Uber, I'm... So I went down there and I came up with a whole bit about myasthenia gravis, and you know the bit, right?
I do.
Yeah. So I read that bit at the memorial, and
killed.
Actually did kill, but I like the part where I said, and then I used to try and do it when Andy first got myasthenia gravis. I used to say, but
there's no
okay.
F on the first word, by the way.
Myasthenia.
There you go. Stop there. Gravis.
Myasthenia?
Yes.
What was I saying before?
You were saying myasthenius.
Okay, maybe you're not stupid. Maybe your father didn't tell you were stupid. Maybe your father didn't correct you every time you said biscotti. Okay, stop it. I'll lose the
rope thread.
So yeah, and then I did enjoy saying that. I used to say when I did the bit, my friend's okay, because there was that period where he was okay, relatively okay before he got really sick.
Right.
He was okay for the myasthenia gravis, and it never worked even when that was happening. I said, and now I can't. What am I going to say? Oh, and then sadly he did pass. No, the bit's gone. Thanks, Andy.
It's always putting a weird. It's putting the audience in a weird place when you're making fun of your friend's disease.
Yes,
I think you have rights to make fun of your own disease, but when you're making fun of your friend's disease,
is that hearsay? Hearsay comedy?
Kind of like that, yeah.
But the thing that was amazing, I'll say one thing that I was really...
It's kind of like the Seinfeld dentist doing Jew jokes.
One thing, though, I was profoundly affected by was his music, which I have to admit, I listened to some of the Paley brothers. I always enjoyed, I love the scores he did for that Shelf Life movie, and anytime I heard stuff he was involved with, I really, really enjoyed it, but I wasn't familiar with his songs, and Gruber performed this great song. It was like Hallelujah, and it was written by Andy Paley. It's like I really could kind of see how he was on a legit, not that I ever doubted that he wasn't brilliant, but you could kind of I could feel how his stuff wouldn't be accessible, but how it was kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, that his music was that way. And Jonathan Richman talked about that.
Well, and I think he also really thrived as a producer. I mean, obviously Brian Wilson loved him like a brother, you know, or probably more than a brother in Brian Wilson's case.
That's true. Unlike a brother, he liked him, right? But that was also interesting about Andy Paley, was that because to me, because of my own issues, now I see that he was somebody who called everybody because he wanted to tell them this thing or that joke or whatever.
Right.
And I was always afraid that that people want to keep me on the phone forever, but that's not what he was doing. But again, that gets into the guilt of it and all that kind of stuff. But so I played a couple of his answering machine messages, which were like, Andy, the song "Love on a Two-Way Street." Call me. Are you familiar with that record? Call me and say "Love on a Two-Way Street." And then the second time, oh, Mr. Big Shot, answering machine. Oh, great. This is Andy, the other Andy, the Bizarro World Andy. Look. Love on the Two-Way Street, and it's a hack joke, he says. I need you to call me. So I never did. That's what I never did here. So I speculated that I know it's not just like, and I ended up on a lonely highway. It can't be that.
Yeah. Now you have an opener when you see him in heaven.
That kind of thing that you said is really like, it's especially good for comics who would go to that level, who even in their act go to that level. If they're doing a very special buffet in heaven, they're already giving reverence to these dead celebrities that they're going to do their impressions.
Right. Yes.
But it was a wonderful time. Heather talked. Everybody was great. Gruber was great. He directed this crowd in this song called "God Did It." Incredible. Also, I saw things about it. I got a
series of calls looking for you, seeing if I could get them in touch with you at mid-evening.
This is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm sitting in the audience like an idiot. I'm sitting in the audience just the whole time. I'm not moving. I'm enjoying myself. And then I start to look down. I had the schedule. I start to look down. I go, how the fuck? And I see Fred Stoller's up there. So then I scurry down to the stage. And this guy came in like, oh, we've been looking all over you. I was like, this is my nightmare, that I was doing the right thing, but so spaced out that I wasn't checking in. And the self-absorbed thing of, didn't they see me backstage? Wouldn't they have assumed I'm sitting in the audience? No, they didn't assume that. But I got out on time. Maybe that little fear there. Because a couple people didn't make their sets. People, and it was very, very likely. And Jim Turner, extremely funny guy. Talk about a host. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would not use him to host a telethon. That's not his. Still very funny, but he's not going to come up there and go. He's going to come up there and go, are we? Not like that.
Yeah.
It was great. Anyway, it was a wonderful thing. And that's it. Why do I have to tag it?
No, it's good. I was on the fence about going. Honestly, the thing that kind of made me not was after I went to those guys' screening a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And, my back was fucked up for 3 days.
This would be a long night.
And I was like, I looked at the docket for the show, and I was like, that's going to be a long fucking show. I can't sit in the audience. Even without the back factor, I would have a long fucking hard time sitting in the audience for that time, seeing every people I know go up on stage without having a crack at it even. But
that's that would add some pressure to your back too, having to watch everyone perform in the world. No, but this is the way life works. You got a lot of credit for going to that screening. What was the movie? I'm going to tell you what credit means.
It's called The Big Whoop.
The Big Whoop, right. And Mark Feit's in it too, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Andy Paley did the music, probably.
He did some part of the music. He did the music for the live show. So
I get this thing to go see it, and I just didn't respond to it. I'm not perfect, folks. I'm still not perfect. So Jim Turner goes, you got that. Did you get my thing for the thing? I said, yeah. He goes, no, you didn't come. A little bit of guilt, not much, but a little bit of, you didn't come to the thing. And that means that already what I'm trying to say is what you did in a way surpassed what I did.
Huh.
Because I should have gone to that thing if I really cared about it. But here's the other thing. Jim Turner's not saying, you can't read him. He's an eccentric fellow.
Yeah.
I don't know what his motivation is.
No.
I could go to hell. If he was David Berkowicz's dog to me, I don't know what I'd do. Okay, I went into a cul-de-sac.
Wow.
All right, I'm back out though. So a wonderful evening was had by all. Why do I have to buckle it? You just heard what I said. It's your fault. It's your fault.
So you're going to buy a car?
Yes. And I'm going to buy a car. And the thing is, remember in the old days when we didn't know what we were doing and you would have me, we would do it 5 times a week. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Shut up, stupid. You remember those days, right?
Yeah, you were literally locked in your apartment. It seemed fair. And it was 3 times a week.
And now I am going to think we should go back out into the world. Andy Kindler reports on buying a car for his podcast because there's nothing better than weakening.
Is this your way of writing off the car as a podcast expense?
No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to, what I do now is I itemize whatever. I don't even take my mileage. I'll go because it was like not, don't ask.
Because you
ridiculous.
Don't go anywhere. Why would you take mileage?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to
I have $8.
I'm going to start that back up again.
Oh.
I'm going to elect to go back to the standard. No, I won't. I'm going to go to the standard meal allowance or the standard. I'm not involved with my taxes anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you know I'm successful.
Sure.
People who give away their tax information to other people to do. What am I doing? A character?
I have been asking that for 400 episodes.
You know, that's not nice. You know, the doctor said that I probably do have
a character.
I probably am a very obnoxious person. What's that?
You're suffering from multiple personality deficiencies.
That I do believe. Because I can't do voices. Tom Petty, he sang, and it's like one of these things like he's singing, I go, there's that thing where you go, boy, he's good at doing voices. I said into Eddie Gorodetsky's ear. Yeah, that guy's good with voices. That's to me what a joke is when you're watching an awards thing. No, it's not an awards thing. I said that. I said benefit. Then I said memorial, and then I don't know. I killed, and it's available.
There you go.
But Tom Kenny, I love him so much, and Tom Kenny and Jill Talley are to me my favorite. My wife and I were saying, except for you and Allison, but you two aren't out there as much as you're not out there. You don't have a high seas. You don't have Josh Elvis Weinstein in the high seas.
All right, no.
And I'm hoping you do put a sketch. I would love a Dick Van Dyke style sketch thing that you and your wife put on together
at our dinner parties.
At dinner parties, I watch dinner. Remember dinner parties?
I do.
Are we still surviving as a planet, or is it all Pope? What's up with the Pope information?
Say again.
Are we because I can't watch as soon as they go into with the Pope, I have to turn the TV off. But we still surviving as a nation, even though our constitutional what is it that's in the balance? You would think a Jew would not be struggling with what's happening now. That's happening, right? What is that called? Rounding up. What's happening? He wants to round up people. Yeah, that's right, Andy. Well, he won't round me up. Why? Because I'm a comedian. Would you say anything?
Why? You fucking don't leave any air forever, ever.
No, you misinterpret me. I would say, would you say anything? You know, when they go, first they came for people who study French in high school.
Oh.
And I didn't study French in high school. Would you say something? Or would you report about it angrily, like, where am I? I'm in Setso. What's it called? Setco. But you're reporting like I've let you down.
I think he's featuring in El Salvador, I'll say.
Well, although I just want to say that if anybody should be rounded up and taken away for being a Jew, who has the name that screams Jew between us? Right? I could be a German Nazi.
It's true. It's
Look,
a slippery slope.
And she says, I'm in the attic. I know that's from something with Anne Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She doesn't say, I'm in the attic. She does not say that.
She's in the attic. It's fill in. It could be Joe Piscopo in the role. Whoever you see is in the role. How's the Dow doing? And when I say the Dow, I mean the TAW. I mean the TAO. Dow. The Tao of physics, the Tao of archery, the Tao of this.
I got it.
Zen and the art of kidneys. I can't wait to get high tomorrow. I feel like I'm in that mode now.
Yeah.
I'm still high from last week. No, don't. No, don't. You love me. He loves me.
I don't know how to handle you today.
You do. Oh.
I don't. Just don't
okay,
know.
you want me to, I'll launch back into how much I liked New York Doll about Arthur Killer Kane.
No, please don't.
Why not? I did a couple of things.
Are you still relating to the throwing yourself out the window out of jealousy?
Defenestration? Yes. To me, that is the image of when you, it's like if you need an image of when you, I would hope that I've never been that out of control about a grudge. But that's the image I keep in my mind.
Well, I mean, if you're going to use that as the bar, you're going to be pretty safe.
Right. But the point is, it's always important for me. What's important for me is to humanize the urge to do things. So when I find Arthur Killer Kane, it seems ludicrous and self-absorbed that I would need to find someone who has a more extreme version. Well, we all could be subject to envy as a thing in my mind, but it happens to be a funny moment in the movie too. There's something funny, obviously, about that. They show a scene from Scrooged.
Yeah.
So they'll say it's David Johansen, but he goes, when he started to see other people in the group, you know, who seem to be prospering more. And it's just like he's like doing this horrible, whatever he was doing in Scrooge. That was already, I mean, he was good in those things, but he was already Buster Poindexter-ish to me. Stop it, Andy. There is no reason now for me to go into my scathing reviews of the character of Buster Poindexter.
No, there really isn't.
What's this thing with hot, hot, hot? What's next? Another
massive success? Dick?
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the thing. When you have a buddy, when you've been sharing, how long have we been sharing the booth together?
About 1,000 hours now.
Can you imagine if we weren't telling people, but that we were both had some kind of emotional problems and we insisted upon doing this in a radio booth with an engineer?
Yeah, that would be bad.
It would be bad.
Because it would also be from like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Remember when we first started this, I was like, let's do it at nighttime. Terrible idea. And then he was like, let's do it in the morning. I wanted to do it at like a 1 or something like that, right? Or 11 or...
It was just becoming a day killer later in the day.
It is a day killer, and you forced me. And the thing that's nice about it, and I want people to know this from the bottom of my insincere heart, that the fact that I am forced to get up on Mondays, come rain nor shine, and Fridays, come rain nor shine, which I'm just saying that because I think it's wrong.
It is wrong.
Come rain or shine.
Correct.
It's neither rain nor shine would be another way of going.
All right.
I forced myself to
fish or foul. Wait.
That's right. No. But I forced myself to get up on Mondays and Fridays and look, I used to fight it. I used to fight and go, whoa, I don't want to get up that early. But now I'm slightly more used to it. And
well, I'll tell you how it happened. We were doing 10 for a long time.
Yeah, don't give me that look like tell the people the truth.
And then it became super clear that you were up already at 9. So
what was the worst habit I had?
I was like, let's do 9. So it's less of a day killer still.
I think my worst habit, which I don't even, because I always, in therapy, they say you're supposed to go back and embrace the part, or if you like the documentary Stutz, embrace what you thought was unpleasant about yourself. I've done that in this podcast by revealing that I wrote Robert Hilburn, they get the thing out. One of the things was I would text you sometimes 5 minutes early and say, I'm ready now. What is the point of that? That doesn't help somebody. Like I was proving to you that I could be early for something.
Right.
And then, I mean, I finally got the message in my head. That's not an advantage. It's like coming to a party before the party starts.
Prove to me you can be on time, Andy. Prove to me that.
And yeah, that was the thing. You had so many, that time, remember that time? And I hate to say it because it's going to sound like that you're violent, but remember when you pistol whipped me?
Yes.
That is the worst thing in the world.
But you remember what you said?
Mm-hmm. I said I didn't want to do 9. So. I think pistol whipping, I hate any images of violence, like people being rounded up and sent to El Salvador. But I particularly am scared of pistol whipping.
Yeah, it's but but the nice thing about a pistol whip is it means the person has decided not to shoot you with his gun.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's more painful than when the guy throws the gun at the at Godzilla, which we know doesn't work.
Doesn't work, no.
But what would you do when you're out of bullets? I still throw it. Maybe you hit him in a sensitive. You hit Godzilla right in the groin. Oi, don't make me bring back my character because I love this character. I can do it forever.
I'm actually taking a shotgun safety and proficiency class next month.
Wow. What is this to defend yourself at home?
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, wait a second. Let me finish my bit. Godzilla, that's my Jewish version of God. You're going to trample Nagasaki on an empty stomach? Godzilla? Come on, it's still a classic. Anyway, who not roped you?
Joel Madison.
Is this... Oh, okay. Is this one of those like Bernard? I hope you're not going into a Bernard Getz thing.
No, it's the opposite. Actually, it's friends of mine have started doing this gun training courses for lefties, people on the left, not left-handed people.
You're not supposed to talk about this.
So that people would be comfortable going to those things. And Joel took one, enjoyed it, then roped me into this.
Wow. And where's it go? I hope you do this at a range of some type.
I'm literally figuring I can get 5 minutes out of it. That's my main purpose for doing it.
But are these like shotguns or are these pistols? What
shotguns.
Are you learning?
These are shotguns.
But, is that a shotgun would be something that someone would have in their house to defend themselves with?
Well, many people say that the shotgun is your best home defense thing.
Is it only a one-shot thing?
For a couple reasons. One, because you get the loud to maybe send someone away.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And the other thing is that it sprays rather than shoots a single bullet, so your chance of hitting a target is greater.
Oh. And can I make a note of that? Because I am about to go on a rampage this week.
But really, I just like the idea of confounding the notion that liberals don't have guns in this country.
Right. Well,
I don't have one yet.
The whole idea that people were ever saying except for Rosie O'Donnell, maybe she yelled at Tom Selleck. Forget all that bullshit. But the idea that fundamentally people on the left like us don't want anybody to have a gun is just ridiculous.
Right, exactly.
And it's ridiculous.
Also, I enjoy shooting. I've always enjoyed shooting. So.
Right, but and it's also ridiculous to say that putting regulations on it more than like you do with a car, for example, driving a car,
right,
is has nothing to do with taking away your rights. But this is like preaching to the converted. But it was many years of them grinding this into people's minds that it would be taken away from them, and
yes.
Therefore, there should be no rules.
Well, on the whole, I was just watching a doc on Netflix about Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh, okay, yeah. It just was the anniversary, right?
It was, and it was the Waco thing that set off a firestorm of they're going to take our guns culture. Right. It didn't set it off, but it inflamed it even more. Yeah.
And when you think back,
it's pretty good. By the way, if you're younger, which seems unlikely, you're listening to us and younger. It's a pretty good doc on the Oklahoma City bombing because it's not a stupid series. It's just a doc.
Is it a new one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch it.
There's no real revelations. If you know the story, you know the story, which I did. But nonetheless, it's a pretty good telling of it.
Well, I just think anybody, and I encourage anybody who, not younger than us, because as you've established, no one is, there's two younger than us. There's younger than us, you, and younger than us, me.
Right.
Okay, so the point is that, what's the topic we're on? Just
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, okay. Anybody who doesn't, who has any question where all this derivation of the horrible right wing that started with this what's that famous thing where they did kill well, let me just say this. All blowhardy has a thing to say. Blowhardy, boom.
Ruby Ridge, are you going for?
Yes, it's Ruby Ridge. Under Clinton, and Janet Reno did not, whatever they were doing, whether she inherited something that was bad or whatever, they did a terrible job at that particular, what's the one thing? The
standoff, Waco.
No. With the one division that of
ATF.
People. Yes, exactly. So when you see documentaries about it, it's like, the point is, but that that Tim McVeigh was very much influenced by this horrible ideology, and that right wing
Turner Diaries style.
Turner Diaries. Yeah. That's Trumpism now, and that never went away.
It's not. I mean, it's not it is one faction of Trumpism.
Right.
It is welcomed under the Trump tent.
Right. So, but people like Bill Maher, who now, of course, is disgraced, but many people.
I love that you think that this is what disgraced him.
I know. I just think it's a critical mass. But people who oversold after 9/11, including George W. Bush and all the people who then said, we have to, focus on Islam. All those people, they just heated up a problem that was started with the first Gulf War when we went in, and then all the things. It's like, I can't think of a clean war. I'm being honest with you. Maybe Korea. I don't know. I wasn't around since World War II. World War II. That's a war that you should have gone to fight. Since then, I don't know enough about the Korean War, but I know the Vietnam War. Bad. We're bad people. If that's how you're going to judge us. America? Oh, the people who were in Vietnam dropping napalm? Bad. Oh, they got rid of Nixon? Good. Oh, then they turned on Carter? Bad. Oh, then they and they brought in Reagan? Bad.
Ended communism? Good.
Good, but not really on its own
not communism,
at the price of the Cold War, right? All that stuff. At least Reagan would say things that were sane, like trust but verify. That wasn't crazy. And if you want to say, oh, the right wing was fantastic because he said that one thing, I'll give it to you. He's your hero. He was terrible. But in retrospect, and he set up the whole trickle down. He cut all the money for the arts. This has been happening since I was a young pup. And I'm just saying, it's radicalized me so much that sometimes I'm angry when I make my coffee in the morning.
Until the grinder starts worrying you.
Exactly. Terminable, interminable.
Are you asking?
Oh, me, I would say interminable. That's how I see myself, interminable.
Yeah.
Here's how I see myself. Here's how I see myself at the Andy Paley celebration. Hi. Hi, I'm Andy. In the old days, though, I wouldn't let people go. I feel, again, it's hard for me to embrace the old me.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the conversation. Something in my mind was saying, they will be upset if I stop the conversation. That was not a correct assessment.
All right.
And I no longer do that.
It's a good assessment of a death grip.
Exactly. Emotional death grip, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you had to say that.
So what kind of car are you thinking about?
We're thinking of a Honda. I'd like to do a Honda Accord is what we're thinking about.
I see.
And I'd like a Honda Accord. The question is, should we? I don't think we're going to do an all-electric car. I don't know if we.
Do you have
all-electric car? Like Carlin? What are you saying?
Do you have?
We have no place to charge it. No.
Well, that's the question. Yeah.
No. So then we're thinking, should we do a hybrid? Do you think I should do a hybrid?
Do you have a place to charge that?
I thought you don't have to.
Well, there's plug-in hybrids.
I don't want that.
No. So no, I'd say you seem like a gas car candidate still.
Oh, only because.
And since you use a gallon a month, I wouldn't worry so much.
That makes sense.
Yes.
When you're talking about my carbon footprint again, right?
Yes.
You just sealed the deal for me. Sealed the deal for me. I'm actually not doing bad if I get just a high mileage car, since I'm driving a mile a week.
I think that's true.
And once again, in the world of good and evil, of black and white, I am once again saved from the darkness.
Back to white.
Oh, I'll never get over being pale. So, yes. So then it's a matter of, what do we want? I don't want something too sports utility like, because I don't want anything that
you want a Honda Accord. That's what you said.
Right, but they have like a sport, and they have a bump, and they have a bump. But that we'll get that settled.
Yeah, you need nothing in terms of features other than a backup camera. You need that.
Yeah, but I don't want to skimp on the features like a guy that my wife for the rest of my life. And I'm not saying she would do this, but if I went with cheap vinyl, you know how like in
no, make it nice, but
yeah, go sweet on it.
You don't need an upgraded engine. You don't need an upgraded suspension.
Is that what those things are?
In some cases.
Will I be able to go 0 to 60 in a reasonable amount of time?
It goes eventually. Yes.
Okay, good. So we're also excited to have something that's not a Toyota. Not that we're against Toyota.
Why is that?
No, I didn't mean it the way that sounds. That's terrible.
That's not really terrible. It's a company, not a person.
We loved our car. We loved our car.
Yeah.
We love our car. We're bored with the style or something.
Oh, it's 20 years old. I could see why.
No, but even the new ones, we don't like the look. It's, it's probably psychological.
No,
it sounds exciting to switch.
Camrys are boring. They are.
Yeah.
I had one.
And I think the Accord would be more exciting, right?
I bought off my mom.
In 2003, it was the right thing to do.
Sure.
Shut up, world. Shut up. What's the guy's name? Delicious Menace?
Yes.
Bitter Mick?
Dennis the Mick.
I'm getting some stuff into him. Bitter Mick. Delicious. I don't have a life outside of bothering Andy Kindler. Mick. And don't give him my mailing address again, you son of a bitch.
All right.
You heard me.
I did hear you.
Don't stop this conversation because I think I'm on a roll.
Yeah. All right. Roll on, Green River.
We're into some things and events that what did I see? We talked about the show. So
I got a missive from Jake Hogan, not to be confused with Jake Hogan.
Oh, he's not Jake Hogan?
That both of our episodes will be on of Don't Be Alone with Jay Hogan.
When?
This week.
That's so great. Why am I talking up high?
I don't know.
I'm sure he sent me an email.
He probably did.
I'm not very... okay, so that's good.
I'm sure the episode that I left feeling like I didn't try hard enough is even better a year later.
I'm sure you're going to be very, very good on it. And the other thing is, now we should go back out and do a series of hectic promo swings onto other people's podcasts.
You think Marin's ready to have us back on?
Yeah, go back to Marin. What I'd like to do is get on high with Doug. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Sober up with Doug.
Sober up with Doug. Take it as you want, Doug. Hey, Doug, I don't need your show. Huh? See how I am now? Yeah, I'm like, you can't push me around. Or nobody wants to.
I did get a good Gilbert Gottfried appearance out of that run.
That's true.
I enjoyed that.
Well, we've had a good, don't say a good run. I swear to God, this show is on the precipice of.
Well, anyway, Cue Card Goddess and what's your name? And Dumpster Diver Dan go into convulsions. Here's something that's going to send you into convulsions. Of laughter. Our special stand-up comedy guest, Andy Kindler.
Shure SM57. I hope this is the same mic. During the tech run-through, we just did Q to Q. That's all we did. Q to Q. That's all we did. Q to Q. I'm going to keep doing theater references until it works. What are you people just got back from the proscenium? Is that right? Is that close? You know, with all this talk about Israel, I don't know how to set up jokes. Never have. If anybody does, please send information to my website. With all this talk about Israel, I just want to say, I wish my body would return to its pre-1967 borders. Am I right, people? My body. I wish my body would return to its pre-1960, because I was thinner then would be the joke there. It wasn't a joke. My body. What do you think? Diver Dan,
I think sell it harder.
Yeah. You know what else I wish would return to its 1967 borders? My corporeal body. Is that right word? Did I get the right word there?
I think that was the punch-up it needed.
Do you think I should do this joke? What do you think? Should I do that one?
Try it.
Try it. Hey, you're still cranky. You get most of your material from old bazooka rappers that can throw in there. What do you know? We're going to come up with that 3 o'clock this afternoon. What do you know? Yeah,
bazooka rappers.
Yeah, that's right. You don't thought I didn't hit that hard enough either? By the way, we have people from Craig Ferguson here. We're auditioning to go on after him, so please don't blow this. This is going to be my you're going to be my sidekick. We're going all the way, right? I can't guarantee you'll be the person doing the voice. Just trying to go for someone younger with the voice.
You don't actually have to mic me.
I know.
I think the illusion is about as intact as it's going to be.
To me, comedy would be just me doing this for 15 minutes.
Test.
Test. Is the audience on my side? Testing. Is the audience going to enjoy my next joke? Testing. No, I'm kidding.
Pander 1, 2, 3. Pander 1, 2, 3.
A lot of late.
Love me 3, 4, 5.
I'm going to ask you about the bit I'm going to do to see if you approve of it before I start. Is a classic thing comics do. Have you heard about the movie I'm going to do a joke about? So you'll maybe laugh.
Clap.
Who knew LinkedIn would have such a big IPO? LinkedIn. Is anyone reading? Have you people been doing anything? Have you people been using your eyeballs? LinkedIn just got sold for $40 trillion. You know when people would send you that thing that made you want to go to their house and slash their tires? You've been invited to LinkedIn and you wanted to kill yourself? That just sold. I'm always behind the curve. When my friends, we're all sitting around, my comic friends, and we're saying, what do we do with all this money we made from stand-up comedy? And all my friends said, sink it into Google. And I, like an idiot, I put it on to Ask Jeeves. Right?
Big mistake. Yes. Very funny.
So you're just verifying what I say?
Yes. Well, I don't want to be a cock block. If they're funny, they should fly on their own.
I don't know if we can say cock block at 2 a.m. But we'll clean it up. You know what? I can see the person operating this, but I refuse to look at them. That's how committed I am to the theater.
Acknowledge the man beneath me.
Exactly. That's what... I like that one. Why do I have to say I like it if it's good? Can't I just let it go? So, I break all the rules normally. Like the rules that I don't know. That wasn't a good lead into a joke either. But I'm going to premise camp this summer, and hopefully things will improve for me. But improv comedy drives me nuts because the improv people, they always say you have to agree. Like you're supposed to say yes and to whatever your improv partner is. Like, oh, Mars, the atmosphere of Mars is really bad, and my arthritis is acting up. And they just go, yes, and also it's cloudy, something like that. I'm not saying that's what you should go with. But when I do improv, I like to say, no, I don't see, we're not on a different planet. I don't understand the bit you're doing. But they say in improv, you agree because that's funnier. Yeah, agreement is hilarious. There's nothing funny about conflict. Can you imagine how much funnier the Smothers Brothers would have been if they had simply agreed with each other? Mom always liked you best. Yes, I feel very bad about that. I wish I could go back and change all that. I wish there was something I could do to make you feel better. Right?
Right.
No, argue. Right. Oh.
Someone had a bad time at the Groundlings.
They told me they were going to pass me on to level 2, right? They said I was...
Phil Hartman. Here, write the check.
Why would you bring it down with a Phil Hartman reference now? Telling these nice people. Well, I feel like I'm
because it's your set. It's really good.
He's Randy, I'm Jason. All right, now...
Wow.
How is that a set?
Wow, the Sklar lovers are out in force tonight.
Yes. Oh, that's going to hit the internet later. I'm not getting away with that.
There's that identical wrath we're going to get.
If you are Randy, I got to tell you something very upsetting. Which one are you? I don't think they really know this.
I think we went deeper than the Sklar premise really had.
Now I'm not only looking at the person operating, I'm looking down their pants. You know, when I first heard the expression, he puts his pants on one leg at a time like everybody else, I said to myself, I could have avoided all the groin injuries all these years. The humor being there, that before that I would jump off a table into my pants.
I put on my pants, I have to avoid the arm.
Is that because you have only one arm? Oh, avoid the arm. How many jokes would you say you have based on being a puppet? Do you have as much as Jeff Dunham has?
As many as I need. I'll just take out enough to beat you.
Yeah. I'll put you back in the dumpster.
Well, don't put me back in the dumpster.
Now you're going back in the dumpster.
I'm not going back in the dumpster. Thank you, the puppet sketch.
How come it's not more old school puppet sketches? A man like Mr. Jeff Dunham puts a jalapeno pepper on a stick, and people complain. Mostly me. All right, look. I
like to think I'm better than Jeff Dunham's puppets because my racism is overt.
Exactly. It's not hiding it behind a quaint, it's a tribute to Mexican culture. Oh, Mr. Oh, how's he talk? The peanut? Who are you, though? What would your racism be, exactly? What would you be racist against?
Anything not Jew.
What's your take on the blacks?
They're not so Jewish.
All right. Right. This is alternative comedy. I have a couple of gripes with alternative comedy, and I consider myself an alternative comedian. First of all, the people have said, let's...
I found you a delightful alternative to comedy.
What did it say the dumpster guy gets a shot at? That's not what you said earlier on the phone, that you would deep six me. I don't know what that means. But alternative comedians, they use the word retarded a lot. And it's like, yeah, that's right, we're bringing that fat word back. Okay, well, congratulations, that's a wonderful thing. And then the other thing is they like to use the word rape a lot, and which I think is a terrible word. And what's the goals? Oh, thank you, alternative comedians. Now we're comfortable hearing the word rape a lot. I know I haven't worked this joke out. So, there's a joke in there somewhere.
It's really, that's some dangerous shit going down rape lane without a punchline. I would just like to introduce the word rape into the room without having an actual point or a punchline.
Don't you tell me. You told me this would be one of my hot bits tonight.
Do the rape. Rape it up.
If I said to you, look at me. I'm talking to you.
Yes.
If I said to you, you're looking at her. Look at me. Don't tell me these nice people.
I'm cheating out. I have to cheat.
That's right. Don't upstage me. You don't upstage me. Look, what I'm saying is they use the word rape, but the word should shock you. But they've used it so much that now people are comfortable with the concept of rape. I guess is where I'm going with the joke. I'm not saying it's a joke.
Okay.
It's an observation. I'm not a comic. I'm a humorist.
So rape is just pedestrian.
Don't keep bringing it back. It's over. I blew it. You know what bothers me? You know what bothers me is that Judge Judy is who bothers me. Well, I don't know why people like Judge Judy. You watch her, and she basically they say, "What's your case? What's your story?" Well, just shut up. This is what she said. First of all, my parents watch the Game Show Network because they like to watch people lose money 40 years ago in the past. God damn it, he missed Mom. That guy's dead. I don't care. Probably he sold it on that set. But then they watch Judge Judy. Hold on, I can't stand her. Judge Judy, about a month ago, she went into the hospital for some kind of intestinal trouble. It turns out she hates her own guts. What are they looking for? What kind of comedy are they looking for? What do they want from me?
I felt like Judge Judy Wrath was going all the way.
It was going. It was all. You know, Alexander Graham Bell was the first person to actually use the expression, hello. I invented the phone. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, no comment now, tough guy, huh?
Great.
As I'm killing with the crowd.
I think if you go back to the 1880s, that's where it's...
Oh, thank you, Trapper John.
Do some historical tweets from the 1880s.
Oh, that was I have a website. I want everybody to go to it because there's a lot of stuff going on there. I have over 12 unique visits a month on my website. I have a guy who goes there with a top hat. It's pretty unique. Lady who collects spiders. You know, I live in the West Side. This is a long haul.
West Side.
What do I need this aggravation for? I could go to the brew company and bomb. I don't have to come up here. That was a funny bit. Unique visits. So I went with unique. That'd be like a person with a top hat would be unique.
Yeah.
What did I want? I want people to stand and applaud for me like that. That's what I want.
You took the word and you zagged.
That's right.
Yeah.
Post-comic zig.
That's right. You know zag.
Yeah. I zag and then I do a further zag. Yeah. It's by the time I'm done, it's a parabellum. What is it? A parabola?
Parable?
A rhombus. Yes. Comedy rhombus.
Yes.
This is the best and worst set I've had here so far. I love that sketch with
It's like
Jimmy.
Haman's hat. It has no corners.
Hey,
Jew alert.
that is the best. By the way, that is the best holiday. Is Purim. Because it's really the greatest. Because some guy named Haman, he tried to steal the temple. Some of the temple. We killed him, chopped off his head, and each year we eat pies in the shape of his hat. All right, enjoy yourself. Have some more hamantaschen, kids. Right?
Right.
Oh, they don't go. They don't. You know.
It's all about symbolism. That's why when God freed the Jews from Egypt, we remember it with a cracker.
That's right. Yeah. Every one of the holidays is the same. We didn't have time to bake the bread then when we were leaving Egypt, so we continued to eat it in its horrible, unbaked shape.
It's a very Jewish approach. Is God freed you from slavery and you remember the bread.
Yeah, that's all.
It was a nice exodus. It was a nice exodus, but
No,
the bread,
the bread we could
very,
make.
very dry.
Horrible.
Very, very dry.
Very dry.
And the portions very small.
And the portions were small. He had a hat. The worst gig I ever did was an Orthodox Jewish wedding where the men were separated from the women, but they both came together to not enjoy what I was talking about. This is my new thing, Dan. What do you think? I do a little walkout like that and back to regroup. I also like we had
Kind of a jazz step you're doing.
one more. I got a minute and 30 seconds more dynamite. Just giving the backstage warning.
No one's giving you a warning. No one.
I think Frank may warn me off comedy after the set. No?
Moodsy.
You know what? I'm the guy who talks about himself negatively.
Moodsy. It's not fun.
What did I say? No, I'm not saying Moodsy. I'm saying my friend Frank. I'm getting dressed down for fucking saying Moodsy? And I'm arguing with you about it?
Ferguson. Hello, Ferguson. together.
You know what? He walks around a week, like 3 days before the show. He's like, they say the Spinal Tap guys, they get into character. He gets into character. He's walking around with the Moodsy outfit on all week long. Sits in Starbucks. Is it Moodsy, or am I getting that name?
No, it's Moodsy, it's correct.
What is the show that I'm on?
The show you're on, it's Merv Griffin.
Michael Shermer's Skeptical Comedy.
That's right.
Weekly.
Bill Boggs Comedy Tonight.
Okay, I chewed up a minute of my killer 30-second close.
That was foolhardy.
When I was a kid, I don't know about I was going to say Josh. That can't be right. That's wrong. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for breaking the fourth wall. I will put a sliding glass door in. But we had a lot of propaganda when I was a kid in Hebrew school. They would say, now you may have heard that we had something to do with the death of Christ, but that happened during Passover time, and we would have been in temple, right, kids? Does that not sound plausible, children? We were meeting in the Sanhedrin, for crying out loud. How can we? You may have heard about us living in Israel, displaced a lot of people, but the people that we displaced, they like to move around. They're not too tied into their area. You know, when I was a kid, you could you could give money and they plant a tree in Israel in your name. Now, for the same money, they'll remove a settler from the West Bank in your name. I didn't mean to, Dan, I didn't mean to close with the Jew material, but do you have any favorite closers that you'd like me to do?
Do your We Are the World lip sync.
You know, Larry the Cable Guy just signed a deal with Cracker Barrel.
Yeah?
Not the store.
Huh?
Okay, I'm going to close it. Do you have anything else to say? Where are you going to be appearing this week? Anything doing any sidekick dumpster work?
I'll be appearing behind the Save-On and behind Shakey's on Bunch of Lunch.
Give it up for both of us, folks. Another mixed reaction.
Andy Kindler. You're the 60 most united man, huh? And, hey, what could follow that but a really shitty cartoon? Enjoy, kids.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Sorry about the delay, but you know, my mother died, and I was making arrangements
Talk
for the
about
funeral.
a delay.
My mother's, did I say mother? My aunt died. Again. Remember on MASH when Klinger was always trying to get out of the, he was wearing a dress.
Uh-huh.
He was trying to, and they said, I have to go back, Colonel Blake, because my father died. And I said, oh, your father died. Let's look at the file, okay? Mother died, father didn't die. He goes back over the whole thing. Very funny if you like comedy, and if you're able to deliver it with a simulacrum. Sorry.
Let me just say, you're no McLean Stevenson.
You know, people make fun of him, but maybe he didn't want to be on that show for 45 years. But that doesn't mean he have to go.
He wanted to be on another show for 45 years, and that didn't work out.
You're saying hello, but wait a second. But see,
there was a McLean Stevenson show before Hello Larry as well.
Okay,
and it's not like Hello Larry was what we call a success either. So.
No, I don't even remember anything about it. But here's the thing: we tend to look at these things in very, very ways, popular culture ways. So we look at Gilligan, Bob Denver. You take a Bob Denver, for example, and you say, oh my God, didn't get residuals. So that sticks as the story that Sherman Williams, who created that show, didn't have the residuals. So then the other thing that you do, what else am I talking about?
I have no fucking idea. I have nothing. I have nothing.
Okay. But the point is that McLean Stevenson, we think of him, we joke about him.
Yeah, not that often. Not that often, let's be honest.
Okay, and also many years ago. many years ago. You know, it's in my mind. I still think could go on stage and go, and he was in Hello Larry,
right,
and get more than 3 laughs.
Yeah.
And at least I'm no longer in part of the group that goes, you don't fucking know Hello Larry. At least that part is.
See, that's
sound.
the appeal of playing the homes. Doing the circuit in Florida and playing the homes. They know all your references.
Well, wait a second. Are you saying there's still a circuit?
I'm hoping so.
I told you my friend Stan Schachter, and this is not my joke, but it's his joke. He goes, he played a Jewish retirement home, and they said to him, Stanley, don't go over 20 minutes because we're serving sponge cake. And when they smell the sponge cake, the show is over. So,
I think you could do Rooster T. Feathers at the Villages.
I did Rooster T. Feathers. That hurt me. That hurt. Woo. Eddie, don't say anything about Trump. They like him here. Don't mention it to them. Seriously? It's fucking. I hate this job. Well, then why are you in Florida, you dumb fuck? Right?
Speaking of liking and hating Trump, I was just watching the Andrew Schultz interview with Pete Buttigieg.
Can I ask you a question before you start?
Sure.
This guy, I heard this guy's like I don't know anything about, but I heard he's a right wing guy.
He certainly he certainly slants that way, but he's not. I've never watched his shit,
right?
But he's another one of these people who became fucking huge without me noticing at all. You know,
what's his name again? I'll write it down.
Andrew Schultz.
And then there's another guy, Tim Dillon. All of them are on Netflix. All the right wing or people I've heard are weird.
Yeah.
Matt Rife. I don't know all their acts, but Netflix has a taste for this kind of right wing comedy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, I don't know this is besides the point. I don't think Netflix I don't think these streamers have an obligation to slant as far as I'm concerned.
True. But they also have an obligation to give Dave Chappelle 5.
No, I agree. No, I mean, I agree.
And then people complain about it, and then you're upset. That's the thing that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm not defending the individual people.
I know that.
You know, but if you're in the business of entertaining America, I don't know what the fuck else you do other than look for people who can cross the line. You know,
right.
And Andrew Schultz, I don't know. I haven't watched his podcast, which is called Flagrant, before. I mean, I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
But what I do see is that, Pete Buttigieg is like fucking owning the place. It's fantastic, and it's not in a dominating way at all. He's just brilliant at they gave him like almost a 3-hour show to just sit there and make sense and explain shit. In a calm and non-patronizing way. And it's, what's good about shows like that. And it's what's good about Rogan for people to go on too, is he sits there and asks stupid fucking questions of you.
Yes.
That are easy to answer. And comics generally won't like fucking jump on shit that makes sense.
Right.
So they're better forums than a lot of shit for people.
Yeah,
to
I
go
get
on.
you. Yeah, for sure.
So in this case, in the comment section is filled with people like, oh, we need more things like this. And we kind of do, because fucking Buttigieg is so good at, like I said, not being patronizing. And they're not being, his little panel of guys isn't being confrontational with him either. They're hosting him, and it's not a debate. It's really like, Pete explains everything to these guys, kind of. So, like, that's valuable as far as I'm concerned.
I think it is. But the thing is, I think what's amazing is how much these people generally are right-wing assholes. I'm talking about Shane Gillis. I'm talking about they're racist.
I agree, but
some of them, not this guy.
I agree. I don't know. I have no idea if he is or not. But
I just know from other shows I've listened to, his name comes up a lot, but I may be mixing him up with somebody. And Tim Dillon's name comes up a lot as kind of a guy who's just
no. And
in your
Trump
face.
did a show during the campaign, Andrew Schultz's show,
right?
You know,
Right.
I'm not, you know, again, it's less about the individuals and more about, like, this is the playing field we're dealing with.
Did you watch it because Trump was able to school the guy? Is that why you? Because Trump,
I didn't watch it.
Like Buttigieg.
I didn't watch the Trump one.
No, but I was making a joke of like maybe he schooled him like Buttigieg.
But Trump was really good. I mean, the clips I saw of Trump on those shows, like, he's very good on them.
Okay, we can't go into this area. We can't do this because you are venturing into, not even trying to venture into it, but you're venturing into the Bill Maher was nice at dinner thing.
I'm venturing into
I know you're not.
I'm not at all. I'm saying that this is part of the dangerous man's toolkit.
Did you see what happened? I mean, come on, the reaction of Bill Maher. He goes and runs, because, you know, Dave Itzkoff? I think you follow him, right? He said, when you run to Piers Morgan, you've lost already.
Yes.
Right? So he's being interviewed. I don't know. It's going to come out tomorrow night. I will not watch, or tonight. I will not watch it. I never watched the Bill Maher. I can't stand it. But he's going to be on tonight, and you can bet that Piers Morgan is going to give him a sensitive, you know, oh, well, that was what you should have done. You should have gone to see him. Well, these other people are fucked up, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, he's saying stuff like, he said it was an insult to 6 million Jews.
He's talking about Larry David.
Yeah, it's an insult to 6 million Jews. And basically going, why is he, you know, I kind of thought Hitler was, you know, one off. So, I mean, he sounds like a fucking moron. And he doesn't understand that he has no basis to argue anymore. He never really did. But now it's just like watching a guy bullshit. He is going down. If that show doesn't end, it's finished. Anyway, he's finished as a cultural person, which I can't even believe he came on this long, but he's done. Whoop! Ka-cha-boom! I don't know why I do him I don't want his neck cut off. What do you say?
I don't know. You're still talking about him. So
No,
I don't know if he's done.
But the thing is, Susan said, and I agree about this. Susan said, and of course it's obnoxious, but Susan said, you should make money, be able to make some kind of money out of every prediction you've made. I fucking hated J.D. Vance. The second Hillbilly Elegy was out. I was arguing with him online when nobody even knew who the hell he was.
Who cares? Sorry.
I think that's the argument against it. But my prescience deserves like a bonus or something, or a special room in the show business home.
I don't think you have spidey sense to see that J.D. Vance was a dick.
No, I think you're wrong. I think a lot of when I came against him, Glenn Close did the movie, didn't she? So that's you're wrong if you think everybody was onto him.
No,
they were
I'm
not
just saying that you aren't superhuman.
I'm pretty superhuman in terms of if you had a brain in your head, you could figure this stuff out like many other people did. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
So it's not a superhuman thing. It's not like Nostradamus. Gilbert Gottfried used to love Nostradamus based jokes, didn't he? Sure. Even Nostradamus. he had a few of them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I didn't see that coming. Even Nostradamus said, I didn't see that coming. So I agree with everything you're saying, and I think when is a man like me going to stand up, wake up in the morning, put on my shoes, put on my big boy pants?
But I guess my point about the whole podcast scene is that the wrong way to do it is the Gavin Newsom way, which is invite these people on, and I'm not saying that everyone is the same either.
You saw what he said about
Gavin Newsom's a total dick.
He said people shouldn't be talking about the guy who went to El Salvador. It's just a distraction.
Yes,
He's a fucking idiot.
Of course he is.
But I didn't know that completely.
No, I mean, I've seen it. Yeah, I mean,
it's always been
pretty much, what I mean, is as trivial as it kind of is, the French Laundry thing said everything.
What's the French? Tell me that one.
When he shut down the state and then went to the fucking French Laundry for a group dinner.
That's good.
The French
stuff.
Laundry is a very famous restaurant in Northern California.
Oh, it is. I thought it's so funny because I was thinking about it. I also in is it Ireland or is it somewhere they had the French house? And so all of a sudden I lost all my bearings about where I was and who I was meeting with and who you are. Because I had a fun time in those time periods. I can't remember it anymore.
Oh, good.
I used to go overseas.
How fun.
Yeah.
How fun.
Is that good? Is it fun?
That's good.
Is it fun to bring it up now?
It really is, especially
the
half-assed way you're doing it. The way that
it didn't derail
brings no
right?
details or anything. Just
it doesn't make
a vague overseas memory that derailed everything I was talking about.
It adds to the show in a way that at first is not, you can't tell at first.
Right.
It's after you edit it out.
It's addition by detraction.
Right. You know what I always say? More is more, less is more is less, and I'll give you that, right? I'll give you a lot of different. Okay, stop that right now. Stop it right now. Okay, so I had other things. I think
what you say is it's never enough. Is really what.
I did see things I want. Okay, so that was the first thing I want to talk to you about was Bill Maher. Bill Maher sounds to me like Elon Musk. When Elon Musk said, he was like so upset. They were holding on stage. Waltz was holding a sign with the stock price. That's disgusting. That's what the level of Elon Musk's easily hurt.
Yes, they're fragile little pieces of shit.
Shit.
Yes.
So tomorrow
they are as if little piles of shit being made out of porcelain.
I think that's true. I think it gives it more of a character. What you're saying is absolutely true because even in porcelain, you're never going to get the smell out of them. You know, in the old days, the evil people looked just like regular people. Adolf Hitler, you could have been a friend with him. Now they look insane. But I thought Hitler looked so insane. Who could listen to him? And then look at Elon Musk. This is Devo. This is what Devo was talking about. This is not going forward. Elon Musk is like a monster out of the medieval time period or something or maybe Medieval Times, the restaurant.
Even worse.
Remember when Bill Maher got Elon Musk in his Club Random? He goes, "This is the interview I've been waiting my whole life to get." Besides, do they really think that he's going to make them rich? Is that what they think? They must, right? They all go, he's going to just give me like, hey, here's $4 million. From hanging out.
It's the same way that, when there's a star at the party, everyone thinks they're getting a part.
I talked to James L. Brooks for like 45 minutes at Phil Rosenthal's house. I'm waiting for the call.
All right.
He said that. She goes, wow,
I told him I liked his stuff a lot.
Yes, and he said, wow. One thing I got mad at Phil about was I was up at his house and James Brooks is here.
I told him I even liked The Associates.
I don't remember that movie. What was that?
It was a TV series.
Oh, so I was at Phil's house. Here's James L. Brooks. Here's Phil. And I start giving lines from Modern Romance, and he goes, "Oh, you know a lot about this movie." Phil can't come in and go, "Yeah, James, Andy is a big, well, how come these people who are huge multi-trillionaires are not thinking about me at the party?" You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I would have introduced him to James Brooks, I'd like to say, but I've never been in the position of him, of being able to
hosting a party.
Like hosting a party. For example, not just to have I don't have a movie room. Yeah, but you don't even invite people over to see a movie. Oh.
You would just need 2 seats in it.
Me and Susan. Susan, do you want the director's chair today? Okay, that just sounds like it sounds like Sunset Boulevard, the recent years.
Uh-huh.
Let's remake that. I'm sorry I said that.
It's me who's small.
So I have a very fun thing I'm doing tomorrow morning. I'm being interviewed. I forget the name of the show because I'm an idiot. But I already was interviewed by them. They're Grateful Dead people. They love the Grateful Dead. And Mike Lisk. Mike Lisk, who's he's on the Best Show. He's been on the Best Show for years. And this other guy, I can't think of his name right now because I'm stupid. But they'd had me on before when the Grateful Dead, the latest Grateful Dead thing came out, which was that thing on You know what I'm talking about.
Amazon, I think.
Yeah. Yes, that was like a 10-part thing. So I watched the Grateful Dead movie again, and that's what we're going to talk about. And I have to say to you, I mean, I know that you're going to A, not care about it, and B, make fun of me liking it, or C, have none of the But I think it was. I was talking to Susan about it. She loved it too, and it's like she was like saying, I don't really, except for like the last waltz and Stop Making Sense or whatever. We don't like a lot of concert films. This really did convey exactly what it was like to be at a Grateful Dead concert, because it basically shot. They were 5 nights at Winterland, so you see them playing, but you see everything. It's like you see them playing, but then they go out to the various things and interview people. Yeah. Like guys like say, "Yeah, I'm not getting paid for this." Oh, that's great, man. I'm not getting paid. He goes, you're going to see this a few years from now. You're going to be so happy you were in it. No, man. What? And the guys trying to say that the Dead are making money by having him in the movie. So it was really, really good. They have a nitrous room where I've never seen people laugh, because they're doing nitrous the best way, but also the way you can kill yourself right out of the tank. You can't kill yourself that way. Just be a little careful. The dentists know how to adjust the air mixture better than the people who do it at the party do. And it just was fantastic. Just to see.
It's kind of like the Woodstock movie in that way, where it's sort of surveying the whole scene at once.
Yes. But the thing about it is that this year, 1974, I mean, I'm trying in general not to look at things, in a sad, like that the things are a sad. You look at them because the guy died and it's sad. Whereas I think that often it's like I was watching this documentary. It was very good about Elliott Smith. And he was a very, very depressed guy, but he was a really brilliant, And at one point, John Bryan and Flanagan are talking about him, right? And I guess at some point he was like this wonderful man, and he had a lot of drug problems, stuff like that. And so at one point, John Bryan goes, "Oh yeah, that was the beginning of the end." Like, why do we say that? Because that's the way we're taught to look at things, the beginning of the end. And I feel the same way about Jerry Garcia. When he was 17, he got in a horrible car accident, almost died. Somebody else in the car died with him. Somebody else died. And he just said, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do what I want in life. And it's like, when you see him in this movie, he's obviously I don't care about people's weight, but he's thin, he's healthy, he's on acid, and he's just having the time of his life.
Right.
So people want to look at him and say, yeah, he was a heroin addict. That's just not the way to look at his life.
Right.
And I feel like I have a tendency to do that too. It's like, even with John Lennon, it took me 20 years to get over it. And now I can say, no, he died. That was part of the story. I don't have to, leave the room every time that part comes up, because I'm trying to accept that these things, it's not like you wanted 9/11 to happen but they happened.
Right.
And just resisting it every time you see it. I've stopped movies because I know at the point where they're going to talk about a documentary where they're going to talk about where they were on 9/11.
Right.
I've stopped them before.
Yeah.
And so I feel it's major growth this way, in a way. You know what I mean? It's like, and also just, what I get from Jerry Garcia was, I think, to me, he was the greatest guitarist for me that I've ever heard. He was a fantastic singer. Everything about him I love. And yes, I think I have a tendency, obviously in the old days, to hero worship. Maybe in the old days I would have said, he actually took heroin very reasonably. He was one of the people,
But you can't call his death a tragedy when there was no part of his personal aspiration to live healthily and long-lived,
Exactly. He was smoking cigarettes probably and didn't care. He's just like this. If someone doesn't care because they had an experience that was transcendent, I think that contributed to his ability to just have a great time,
Sure.
And I don't even agree with all the things they did. I mean, I don't agree with walking down the streets of San Francisco and dosing people, but I mean, they really were pioneers, and they really were absolutely committed to the communication between them. And I really think they've had such an amazing effect on everything, improv, comedy, anybody who isn't doing, a set piece and changes stand-up comedy, anything, they've had an effect on, I think, because of how all they cared about was what they were doing on stage. They never, ever cared about, and they made mistakes, but it's a great story, and the movie is great. The Grateful Dead movie, 1976. Good night, Irene. I'm working on doing small reviews for a podcast.
Yeah,
this one.
So you're going to go out. You will be discussing this movie
tomorrow morning. Tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be fun, and I'll let you know the name of the show later. No, so that was good, and that was nice. And I had more stuff to talk about. I can't think of it right now.
That's all right.
Who cares, right?
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
I know how to answer a question. You've just asked it to me, and I listened the whole time. Try me on one of those. I want a Peabody, for my answering of viewer mail.
Seth Dick III says, is it true that Truffaut authored a film predicting your show way back in 1959? Mama Dick III says, yeah, it's called The 400 Blows.
I thought, is this a Sartre reference, or I messed it up?
No, Truffaut.
Oh, true, because I was going to say, we should have called it We Clo, No Exit. That would have been more.
No, this was better because it's our 400th episode, you see.
Oh, my God. Is this it today?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So exciting. Do you realize if anybody listened to this show or cared about this show or was excited about more than 20, 30 people, this would be a big event in the podcast world.
Absolutely.
And we would be featured on other podcasts like This American Life. We go back to Get High with Doug and Me. This would be a big.
We'd be featured on TWIP, This Week in Podcasts.
What is our podcast's whip, which I never heard before this season?
I don't know. I still haven't heard it.
Whip. What? Whip. Something about innings pitched. How many walks and runs? That's right. How many walks and runs you've given up per inning as a pitcher? And they start saying these things, and then they always say, hey, he's got an 11,000 OPS. I don't know what they're talking about. I kind of do, but I don't have enough focus to get into people. To me, all I know is that Ted Williams almost had 400 a couple of times, and his lifetime batting average was 344.
Wow, you are a terrible baseball fan. You're awful at this.
I know. I'm not going to lie to you. I still can't tell what pitches are coming. And I still talk to Susan. I go, I think they have 4 or 5 cameras that catch the pitch, and they know it from that. But then they also seem to know. They seem to know when it's a changeup. I don't.
You need another 10,000 hours.
Oh, God. I hope. Is there going to be a 10,000 hours the other way on that guy? Like, the more you listen to him, the more you hate his guts in 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Archibald McLeish? What's his name?
Yes, Archibald McLeish. Yes.
Is that a name? I think that is a name.
You're past your tipping point. Tree Pahara says, where does the emphasis fall in the phrase, what me worry? I think Alfred E. Newman is kind of mysterious. Thoughts?
No, what? Me worry?
I think that is how it is meant to be. What? Me worry? That's kind of how it's meant to be. But I was giving it a flat read, so I didn't want to influence.
Well, that's interesting. That's nice that you care about the viewers and listeners.
I do.
To have their own opinions.
I do. John Dunbar said, I heard Questlove's off-screen voice interviewing the talking head in the Sly Stone doc. Did Josh also interview DeBar and the speakers to get their testimonies and tales and who do you want me to be, then edit himself out? Does he approve or disapprove of that choice in docs? I did interview Michael and everybody in the movie. And in my first cut, I left a lot of my questions in because I was mostly for laugh lines.
Oh. To get the rhythm of the exchange.
Get the rhythm of the exchange, and I had some good lines. And I was trying to save them, because I got, the interviewer subject laughing or whatever, and it felt great in that first cut. But then, it started to feel self-indulgent in some way. And I was working with a real editor as opposed to me cutting it for the second cut. And he felt like the flow of the movie was better taking he wanted to take a lot of it out, and then it was like, if it's not a part of the rhythm of the movie, I don't want to leave some of it in. So I made the choice to sort of eliminate all of it, other than like 2 little small instances where I had to prompt the person who was like at a loss for a memory,
Yeah.
But I'm not against it. I mean, what I don't like is if you're going to use a lot of it, you can't have, fucking mic yourself for the interview, which is what I did.
Right.
So it's not, so then, what about that when you did the thing, where it's that off-camera shouting kind of sound. That makes it feel much less intimate and conversational,
Right. I think
but I think it's, with any of these things, it's like, even with animation, it's like, if you're going to make the choice, make a stylistic choice for your whole movie. Don't just throw animation in 2 spots because those were the ones you couldn't get a visual for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
If that's a choice you're going to make for a part of your visual palette, then incorporate it throughout the whole movie so that there's some actual style to the movie,
When they roll in just animated stuff to cover a story, it just is so boring most of the time.
It's really boring, and it's and like I said, it's jarring if it's like you just use it for that,
right? Right. But the thing is, along the lines of the question, I just don't particularly care if Questlove did it a couple of times, and I'm sure you don't care if he did it a couple of times, right? Or is that part of his thing?
No. I mean, I think he did. In my recollection of that doc, he was fairly present throughout.
Yeah,
and so that's fine. Especially, I mean, in that case, the fact that it is Questlove doing the doc is almost part of the presentation. Because he has so much cred within the music, that he's talking about.
Yeah, so you can't really make rules about things because it depends on the documentary and how it's done.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, my rule is pretty much make choices for the whole movie, not just for spots.
Right.
Mozart says, "Congratulations on 400 shows, gentlemen. Your humor and openness help me and many others each week. I continue to have no questions and to never miss a show."
That is unbelievable to me. I've missed every show, mostly. I mean, this is unbelievable.
And then they added, reviving this for your 400th to the tune of that old gem, Hello Mudda, Hello Father. Hello Joshy. Hello Andy. Heard your show. Wow. That's fantastic. When you both got all yes, Andy, I just about spit my grapes out cotton candy. Love you guys. And then also saw an okay movie this week, True Crime, about a U.S. movement of white supremacists in the 1980s, The Order.
I think I've seen that. I think
watch
it's good.
The first 2 minutes in blackness while the credits starts to roll. I think I hear Andy Kindler's voice saying Andy Kindler things. Fade in and it turns out to be Mark Maron.
He's in the doc. What's it called? True Crime?
The Order.
I've watched almost every one of those and will continue to.
That's good. We need you on the case.
Well, no, I get tired after a while. Like, if it's once you've seen a million of these, and it's just like violent skinheads, they'll punch your mother in the face.
Yeah,
I don't want that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's only so much. It's like, do I want to spend 2 hours just watching a bunch of fucking idiots?
Right. That's why I don't watch UFC.
Right.
I agree with you. I'm not saying this so that someone from UFC hits me.
Right.
I don't want them to hit me.
Right.
It's
well, maybe you should stop calling them fucking idiots then.
No, not them. The people watching, the people who fight.
Wait. They're customers? They're fans?
Look, anybody who
idiots?
fights.
Really?
Anybody who fights in any context, my hats are off to them. and I'd like to use my hat to cover their concussions. All right, I'm done. Done as a comic and as a person.
BD West says 400, and a third thing. A hearty congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, BD West. He's been there the whole time.
Uh-huh.
How do we know this is not a dive bomber coming to kill us? It could be.
It could
with
be.
Trump. Okay. If there's something I needed to know about before the show and you didn't tell me because you wanted to make it a better show, I'll kill you.
I was up all night spray painting a target on your condo roof.
Here's another. I just got a solicitation. Look, I'm gay and I'm scared. I never know what is going to be the lead line for these. A lot of it is, so you did vote for Trump, you fucking douchebag, didn't you? Open it up. Sorry to be so mean, but we need your fucking money now or you're dead. Too bad if anything should happen to your family.
Stephen Elton Yates says, thank you for all the sweet, thoughtful insights over the last 400 shows. I look forward to every new show, sending love and some coffee to you both. Mazel tov.
He is he's not Jewish, even though his mensch level is off the chart.
He wields a mazel tov like one of us.
Yes, he's a Greek Orthodox Christian of some type. And still, he's nice. He doesn't condemn me.
Stephen L. Yates transcends all faiths.
That's right.
Except for those fucking Baha'i.
Be Baha'i. Be Christian, be Jewish, be Baha'i. That's Martin Short.
Dan Marsh says the New York comedy scene has a reputation for mutual ball busting. But Josh has described Louis Anderson as having a mean sense of humor with other comedians too. How combative were the comedy scenes when you were each starting out, and how did you adapt? Well, in the Minneapolis scene, it was like there was the first generation where it was like Louis and guys like Jeff Gerbino and all these guys who were more of the sort of ball busting, bar comic types. By the time I came along, it was more. It was pretty supportive, actually. It was. I mean, comics still give each other shit all the time.
Right.
But in general, it was a sort of, it was a pretty supportive, like, let's help each other with our acts. Let's give each other the names of bookers. That's the atmosphere I grew up in too, kind of. I mean, that people helped each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it changes once there's actual stakes for comics. Once people start making money and stuff, they become a little more. There's a certain point where the rising tide doesn't float all boats for people.
Yes.
And that's why comics can't unionize and things like that, because there's a certain point where we just don't play well with others. But within that time and that moment in Minneapolis, I don't think it was a lot different than the sort of alt scene that you were so embroiled in.
I'm sure, yeah.
There was
sounds great.
There was an us against them sort of spirit to it all.
Yeah, which I felt until the Trump years.
Yeah. Amy Peanut says...
Hi, Amy. I know Amy. Come on, stop it.
Says, sorry to beg, as they say, but my thingy was missed the other week. You were even talking about moving to Toronto during questions and everything. It would have been a lovely segue. Please see...
How come we didn't do it?
Please see above.
What's your excuse,
Here's
Josh
to
Elvis.
the next 800 hours of giggles and grudges. You are the best. So what I missed was this. This is from a month ago. I'm sorry, Amy Peanut, that I didn't crack open the shell of this question.
I don't get the...
I don't either. I subscribe to a service.
Are you nuts?
I subscribe to a joke service.
That's right. Are you nuts?
That's a legume joke. It shouldn't be a nut.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a legume joke.
She says, I know you, first she says, hope you're feeling better after your tumble, Andy. So that puts it in a time and place.
Right, right.
I know you folks have spent a lot of time in Montreal, but how about Toronto? If so, any recommendations for food, nice walks, or just things off the beaten track we might not hear about? No one from round our way seems to have been. Going in August. I haven't been since the late 80s, so I'm not the right one to speak about current Toronto. But but vibe-wise, I liked it there immediately.
It is great. Don't forget, the Kids in the Hall started there, and it's a great city. It's really fun there. I don't know what to recommend now because I haven't been there in years when they used to have the comedy festival. But it's just the original room that the Kids in the Hall played at is still there, and there is great things going on there. I really love Toronto. Thank you. Good night.
Sweet Bahar's back.
He's back. Where did he go? Okay, sorry. You didn't need that.
I didn't need that. 400 test shows. What a ride it's been. I've been here from TS1. Congratulations.
Nice of you to say, Tweet Bahara.
He has been there since TS1.
It's true.
And very soon after the show started, not long after the show started, I was in Austin spreading the word of this podcast when you still cared about.
All right. Back when you were evangelizing so effectively. Dylan Thomas says, Test Show 399, Andy brought up John Mulaney's Netflix talk show without mentioning the Jimmy O's remote John did one episode prior.
I didn't see it. I haven't seen it
During which the camera lingered on Andy's autographed headshot. Is this growth?
Oh, that's
Happy
why someone
guys.
told me I was on that show.
Yes.
Someone told me you were on that show. Oh, my God.
So, no, it's not growth. He will be watching it immediately after.
I'm sorry I interrupted you during the telling of it. Right. So that's how that got on there? I had my pictures on there.
Yes.
On the wall.
And Jimmy O's.
It's Jimmy Oz, actually.
I know.
Was he there? Oh, you didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
I have to see it. Okay.
Get off my back.
That's a nice slam, though. Just in the middle of a piece, you see another diminutive comic shown.
Yes.
And it's me.
Yes. Who gave his headshot to a little tiny tailor.
That's probably one of the bigger places I give him my headshot to. I will give my headshot to anybody who wants it in their shoe store or whatever.
Dan Marsh says, hey guys, I read recently that when a person has a kidney removed, the other one may grow larger to compensate. Josh, did this happen to you? Do you have to keep change in one pocket to avoid tipping over in high winds? No, but I can pee around a corner now.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Is it true?
I think it is true that the other kidney compensates. I'm not sure. All I know is that my function continued to be just fine with one. So.
You're not kidneying around, are you? Comedy's terrible. I hate what I'm doing. Why?
Why have you forsaken us, God?
No, it's not Jesus. It's just us in the podcast.
A third Jew says, hope this makes it to you in time. Wanted to wish you both the heartiest of mazel tovs on your 400th test show. You're my only appointment listening podcast. Also, can you explain to me what about Steely Dan made them technically perfect? You can tune your speakers to them. I don't get it.
They were not just technically perfect, they were brilliant. They really knew what sound they were going for. Much like Brian Eno working with the Talking Heads, it's just genius musicians who, I'm not saying they I understand why people got tired, but there's no doubt that they're amongst the greatest ever. And I used to work at a stereo store. I told you that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I used to sell speakers to IGY when his first solo album. What a beautiful world this will be. What a love. Why do I even try? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't even know why I try.
These name drops don't age the way you think they do.
I thought it was pretty good.
Anthony Morgan says, I've seen that Crispin Glover on Letterman clip, and he is clearly in character as Reuben from the film Reuben and Ed. But I also see he was on Letterman in 1987, but the film came out in 91 or 92. I am so sick to death with thinking. I might just join the Republican Party.
No, don't do that. That's where you should go when you want to stop thinking, though.
That is. There's a warm embrace waiting for you. Vincent asked, anything planned for episode 420?
I would like to. What's that? Can you do that one more? I would like that. That would be great. We'll get some pot smokers in the studio.
I don't know any.
Shut up now.
RSDIV says, with Andy, Jen Kirkman, and James Adomian, you have 3 of the best Todd Glass Show guests connected through Two Thoughts.
No, Todd's going to be on the show. It's my fault at this point.
Any chance of getting Todd in?
Yes, if I would get off my ass and give Josh the number.
Either way, can either of you share a good Todd Glass story?
He will come on the show. There's no way. There's no reason.
Will you listen?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking?
Either way, can either of you share a good Todd Glass story?
They're all good with him. I've had more fun with him than I've had with you, certainly.
Son of a bitch. I work so fucking hard. I work so fucking hard.
I need to take you out to a lunch or something. That's going to do it.
Something. So yeah, just do like one of those 3-person emails with me and Todd.
I'm just a fucking idiot. He said his text is the best way to get in touch with him.
Do one of those 3-person texts. Then.
I don't know how that works.
But I can't talk to him on my own. I need you.
I will. I'm being stupid about it.
Par for the course. TV's Mike Degnan says, congratulations on hitting episode 400. It's incredible that you've kept at it this long, and I sure appreciate it. Why, thank you. Hit 432, and you'll have more episodes than Bonanza. What are some other TV shows that you think had inexplicably long runs despite being lazily written and dull?
Bonanza, probably. I mean, all those shows at some point were... I mean, every show that's last 20 years, maybe not The Simpsons. I don't know. I think at some point it's going too far. But then if you're working on the show,
it's really amazing to me even how I've turned my back on The Simpsons for 25 years, pretty much.
Wow. And you used to watch it. I mean,
loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. Do you think the quality changed or you just got tired?
I assume it did. I mean, I got senses that it did along the way when I peeked in, but I couldn't say for sure. I mean, it's just sort of conventional wisdom that it did.
Right. Did you switch to Futurama? Boom.
Potato. Your bestie Jessie says, as a child of the 90s, I watched a ton of crappy sitcoms. Suddenly Susan, Caroline in the City, Grace Under Fire, etc. But I found Raymond unwatchable. Right up there with Andy's fave, Wings. With 30 years dust on it, does it hold up? Are there a few Andy-centric episodes you might recommend?
First of all,
I think you're setting yourself up for trouble if you do.
I enjoy the show. First of all, I like the show. I think it's a great show. I can't make any comments about anything with it because I was too closely related to it. You know, I think it's, but I don't think it's like Wings. But I'm certainly not going to argue with somebody who thinks it's terrible. I thought I was very funny on it. Deborah Makes Something Good is an excellent episode. If you want to see my episodes, I write for Sports Illustrated. That's a good one. Somebody Hates Raymond, where I'm ganging up on Raymond with this other bully. So I had a couple of nice things in there, but why would that guy? I don't suggest he looks at them though. At that
right.
It's not for you.
Fair enough, I say.
Yeah. But I also will say, without reservation, I mean, nothing can help me now. I'm not doing the help. But I happen to love Ray. I happen to love Ray Romano, and I think he's a great actor, and I think he's a great person. So, and I'm good friends with Phil. I had a great time doing it. And stuff like that.
You can't ruin it for him.
That's true.
Daisy Petunia.
They tried to though.
They tried.
Not really.
You
just
resisted.
A question.
You were tough. I'm proud of you. Daisy Petunia says, I've really enjoyed Andy's blathering on about that Cowsills doc the last several weeks, but I see that it was made in 2001. I need to know what's been happening to the band I know next to nothing about for the past 15 years. Any updates? I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Happy 40th anniversary.
40th?
Yes.
First of all, I'm not responding. There's a lot of anger in that thing. And I don't think when someone...
The Cowsills wouldn't want that.
That's right. Don't hold me against... First of all, why would it being made now matter? And why does it matter when I see them? I see these things. I just saw The Wizard of Oz recently.
For the first time?
For example. Yes. No.
Zeke Fossey says, sweet words. My partner has been on my case for missing the toilet at night, so now I pee in the sink. Who loses?
What is this guy from the Courtship of Eddie's Father? Huh? What is this? The Bachelor to what is this? Bachelor jokes? Yeah, my wife told me I'm missing the bowl. You know what? I peed on the fruit in the refrigerator.
GF Kinsta says, 400 is a milestone, but it's not like 100, 250, or 500. Why is that? That's not to say that this isn't an accomplishment.
That is what he's saying.
I've been along the journey with Michelle Wisecarver, Halpin Fraser, Zeke Fossey, Dan Wade, the real earnest fellow whose name I don't remember, the Dix the Third, and of course Pickles, and so many more of us fans. We all love Mondays for 2 hours of no but, and the First Thought Theater. We were COVID pals. Keep it up, Josh.
It's wonderful.
You too, F-face.
That wasn't Zeke Fossey, was it?
That was GF Kinsta.
I love you, GF. Go, and you know what it stands for? Go fuck your Kinsta. I'm just going along with his thing with FF.
Eastside 76 commented, thank you for sticking with us on this podcast. It can't be easy, and we're also lucky. Thank you both.
That's very nice to say that.
It was. It felt sincere to me, unlike some of you others.
Good thing we don't have any grudges or anger about the show. First of all, about the 400 thing, 400 is it's a decent, I think every 100 shows you spend a couple of seconds going, it's been quite a ride.
What a round number we achieved.
That's all we're saying.
That's it. Yeah, I don't think we went overboard with the self-celebration on this 400th episode, really.
We tried to on the first year go crazy.
We did. 100th episode, I did a whole special and everything.
Yeah.
And
then we realized that... Oh, Josh, come on, they do care. No, they do love you.
Dan Wade, what? Says, did your family have weird words for common items? In first grade, I needed to blow my nose, so I asked for a Scotty. And everyone looked at me like I was an alien.
Well, it was a Kleenex in our house.
Yeah. I think that's why everyone looked at him all funny.
Well, he was something wrong with him.
Do you ever...
I used to say right cola. Was that?
Right cola?
Yeah, I don't know.
As opposed to what?
Diet right cola.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You missed a word.
Might have, right. Well, didn't they also make right cola? I don't know. Just go on.
No, they didn't.
Don't stare at me. Don't look at me. I'm a monster.
I don't think there was I mean, that would explain why it's called Diet Right to me.
Yes.
But I always thought it was more like a play on you have a right, like it's your right to a...
I think I'm missing a word.
Well, Diet Right was a beverage. I don't think right was.
Rite Aid.
All right, now we're just going into it.
Stupid.
Now it's a true thought spot.
Now it's just stupid.
It is dumb. It is really dumb.
You started.
Like, do you ever order yogi?
What's that?
It's just yogurt. Apparently, it's yogurt.
Oh, yogi? What is that? Is it a kind of yogurt?
No.
Don't be angry at me.
No, I'm not. This is a word you introduced. I have to have my yogi.
Oh, my yogi. Well, you were saying it like gnocchi.
No,
it's not a G
I wasn't.
on this, right?
No, I wasn't.
I have my yogi.
Yes.
Susan, you want your yogi?
Right.
I had my yogi today.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm a beloved childlike figure who never grew up and looks strange old.
Well, I think that's everything, Andy.
You know, I want to thank you.
And I mean everything.
I want to thank you for being very adjusting to my schedule. And in return, I try to not get steamed during the 75 interruptions. I mean, why don't you tell you? Oh God, I'm not good at insult comedy. Can you just insult? Okay, what if they want to give to the show?
I think you just insulted 6 million dead Jews. If you'd like to reward us for our 400 episodes of effort, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and buy us a celebratory coffee.
You know what? I want to say I love you, Josh.
Do you?
I really, really love you. You're one of the greatest people.
But I can't really accept that with you trying to hang up as you say.
I know. So why don't you hang up on me?
Let's
make it the way.
It gives it an air of insincerity that I. Well,
let's do it the old classic way.
All right, go fuck yourself.
I can't let go of the nasty little one. All I can do is keep him at bay.